And hopefully the marker won't be too much like chalk on a chalkboard. Although it sure sounded like it's trying there. So now we need 400 hosts. Now, because it's 2 octets, when you get to the end of the octet, for the purposes of finding how many bits are you going to be borrowing, you don't start counting again here like you would normally do. You keep on going up on your binary numbers until we get to a number that's bigger than the number of hosts we need. So we're going to number our columns again with the 1, the 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5, 12. And 512 is bigger than the number we need, more than 2 bigger than it. So we know we only need to borrow 7 bits, okay, to be able to get a subnet that handles 400 hosts. Now, you're needing to create 2 subnets that have 400 hosts in. One is going to be the actual used one here, and one is going to cover all of these, and that we're going to break apart further. So for this one, so for the first one, we'll assign it in this position here, a 1 for the actual network address, okay? Because that's the last network position. And then the rest of it's for the host. So our network address for this one will be the 172.16, what we were given of the address that Diana or whoever gave to us, or our network administrator told us to go with. And then we're putting a 1 in the second column here. Now for that purpose, we're starting our numbering like our binary is supposed to be. Start from your 1s and 2s again, so that puts a 1 in which column? In the 2s column. So remember, the 0 is not a usable one, except on a lot of Cisco equipment, but on other equipment, the 0 subnet is not a usable subnet. We're going to work with that 0 is not a usable subnet for purposes of the lecture. If it is on your test questions, it will tell you that 0 is a usable subnet. And you'll have all seen that before on test questions. So we've got a 2, and then since this is just the network one, it's the 0. First usable host on that network is 172.16.2.1. What's the last usable host address on that one? 172.16, that's the easy part. But guess what? We've got one more bit over here that we're using for host addresses. So the highest one's going to be with a 1 there and still a 1 sitting here, so it's 3 now, dot 254. And the broadcast is 172.16.3.255. Y'all see where I got those addresses all from? We're working from the binary. The leftover one, the next one we're going to use to subnet down into these, is 172.16. We've got a 1 for this one in this column. If we go to the next one available, which subnet is it? It's a 1 in that next column and a 0 right here. So it's a 1 in the 4th column. So then we've got a 4 right here, and that's our address for that subnet. Now, we want to split that one. So we've got it right here is where we've got on first. I'm going to call it first right here. Is where we borrowed to. Hosts are the remaining 9. Now what we want to do is split it again. So we're going to take and see how many do we need to borrow down to handle 100 hosts. So again, we're going to count from the right and work to the left. So we're going to look up here until we get to a number that's bigger than the number we need, 100, 128. So we only need the last 7 bits to handle 100 hosts. So we're going to borrow to here. So our second, actually our second and our third, are going to come off there. So it looks like a 14 is really a 6. Now, in that case, our first subnet in here is we've got still sitting here, because we said that it's got a 1 in this column and a 0 right here. Now we're borrowing into here. The first one of these is going to have a 1 right here. That gives us an address in here for this very first one right here. That's our first subnet right here. A 1 in the 4s, nothing in the 2s or the 1s, and a 1 in the 128s. So we know it is 172. Dot 16 dot, and where did we say? We got a 1 built here because on the second. Whereas on the first it was this 1 right there. So we know there's a 1 in the 4s, so it's 4 dot, and a 1 in the 128s. So this one actually is that, and that is your network address. Normally you've seen before that you often had them always end in zeros. That one really is ending in zeros because it's zeros for the last 7 bits. Subnet mask on this one was slash 16 and 7 is 23. Because we borrowed 7 bits. This one's going to be a slash, we borrowed 2 more bits, so it's a slash 25. In a class environment, remember you had slash 16, slash 24s. So now the first usable address on this network is 172.16.4.129. Then our highest one is going to be 172.16.4.254. And our broad, which is all 1s except for 0 right here. And then 172.16.4.255. Second one of these, which is our third subnet, we're actually going to do a 1 and a 0 right here. So we'll end up with 172.16. 4 and 1 is 5. Dot 0.